Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Black Made Media. It's your boy Black. Today's video, we're going to talk about Season 7, Episode 3 of Ready to Love. Now, this episode kicks off with Tommy letting the ladies know he needs something a little more from them. He needs them to take the men out on a date and to reveal something about themselves that they wouldn't normally give this soon in the dating process. So Mercedes decides to take Sue Ann, Blake, and Mark Anthony out on a Kango date. So Blake's not feeling it at all. Mark Anthony's not really feeling it either, but he's hiding it a lot better than Blake is. He took it on the chin. He's going to keep it moving. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not really understanding why is it that any activities these ladies come up with that have to do with endurance, the men are just not for it. They're not wanting to do it, whether they come in workout clothes or not. It happened the same way last season. I don't understand what it's about. But anyway, they decided to split up. So Sue Ann and Blake start talking. And then you have Mercedes and Mark Anthony start talking. So Blake and Sue Ann, they get to talking about, I want to run out of here. Blake saying, I want to run out of here. Sue Ann give a little small talk saying, oh, I had your back. I would have did it. And then, Blake gives Sue Ann a pet name. Now, pet names are cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can't give this woman a pet name and then you still say that you're still interested in talking to other women on the show. You can't say there's a lot of great women on the show that I'm looking forward to getting to know them better, but then you give her a pet name. So it says one or two things for you, for Blake. It says that you either are going to give every other woman a pet name too, or that you actually only have eyes for Sue Ann. So which one is it? So either one, can put you in a difficult position because you're letting the woman you're giving a pet name to know about other women. So how is she going to take that? But it seems to be Sue Ann's taking it pretty well. Then you have Mark Anthony and Mercedes having their little conversation. Mercedes says she's a hopeless romantic. Mark Anthony gave her a little eye contact, and she was putty in his arms. You know what I mean? So Mark Anthony played it really cool. The way he moved in this was really, really cool because what he did is he didn't lean in and kiss her. He just brought her closer to make the scene more intimate. So I think that was the best move to do because moving in for that kiss too soon would get you in trouble. But asking the young lady to, slide a little bit closer is also giving her the same vibe that, hey, you want that closeness to her. All right, so next, Cynthia comes in. She goes on a date with Andre. Now, Cynthia looks amazing. This lady, it really appears that she knows how to dress. Nothing looks better than a woman who knows how to dress. So kudos to Cynthia for that. Now, Andre comes in, and he asked her this question. It was weird to me. He asked her, what does it mean when you can't stop thinking about a woman, or when you see a woman, you get, lumps in your stomach, you get goosebumps and all that other stuff. So I'm like, why would you ask that type of question? As a grown man, why would you ask that type of question? So there's a few things that the men said in this episode. I was like, like really? So, Andre talked to her. She asked him, she said, what kind of woman are you looking for? He said, a womanly woman, right? Nothing wrong with saying you want a womanly woman. She said, okay, does that mean soft? He said, yes. He confirmed with saying yes. Then she asked about being a strong woman. Would you mind if you had a strong woman who needed a man to kind of guide her and soften her up? He said, yeah, I love it. So which one is it that you like, Andre? Do you like the woman who is soft, or do you like the woman who you can soften? So Andre's words are really captivating these women, especially with Cynthia. She has to be really careful because right now she's falling for what Andre is saying, not what Andre is doing. And that's a big problem that a lot of people fall for. And it's not your fault. Words are powerful. That's why people say words are powerful, because Andre is using his wordplay. He's getting these women, to swoon for him. So, in a player way, that'll be a good thing. But for her situation, it seemed like Cynthia is coming at this in a very genuine way. So be mindful of that. If you ever encounter a guy tells you all the nice, good stuff, let it follow up with action, So she started crying. My thing is that what I would have done a little bit differently than Andre is that instead of yelling out, hey, you got a tissue, I would have gone up to the young lady, asked her nicely for a tissue, and then brought it back to her. She didn't have to know what you were getting up to go do, but to be surprised that you brought a tissue for her would have been meant a little bit more. That's just something I would have done, but who am I? All right, so next you have Corvea and Fabrice. They go out on a ride, a bicycle ride. So on this bicycle ride, after the bicycle ride, Corvea asks, Corvea, she asked this man about his business, right? So I'm like, why, Corvea? Why you keep going into the business conversation, the money making conversation? So Fabrice, he's pretty much trying to push her to saying what it is that she really is, which is gold digging. Sorry, it's no really nice way to put that. It's clear cut gold digging. It's not a practical request for a woman to want a man who has had a business and also who has sold that business. That's not someone who says they're looking for love. That is a financial request that you're looking for regarding that man, or the mindset of a man who can start a business. That's one thing, but the fact that you want him to be able to sell that business, why is that part so important? In so many words, Fabrice was just trying to get her to admit to what it really was. He know he's up in age. He knows she's a young woman, and that interest that she's showing in him, he knows is not genuine, because they haven't had that many conversations for it to be that genuine. So for her to start, batting her eyes and saying, hey, that's what I asked for. I actually asked for a man who has his own business and who has sold a business before. And she started smiling. Like, that's not a conversation about, as far as your personal interests, as far as love is concerned. So yeah, to me, that's what Corvea lost it. But Fabrice did not help at all by saying, hey, just tell me what it is. If I look like you, I want the same things as you. That was his sign to her, but she didn't want to come clean. But he knows what it is. Fabrice is very aware of what he has and what he doesn't have and what attracts women to him. So he uses the thing that attracts women to him to get the women. So you can fault him for that. You can not fault him for that. But some people consider it to be game. Some people just playing their strengths. So it really depends on how you look at that. But that was just an awkward situation with Fabrice and Corvea. All right, so next up we have Marcia, we have Morgan, Lyndon, and Tony. They all meet together, go to the beach. Tony hugs Morgan and asks her if she missed him. To me, I think that's just a bad move as a man. To have to want a woman to confirm that she missed you comes off as you needing to be missed. Now, if you miss her, just say that. Don't have her to say it just so you can say it back. Just so you can say, oh, well, yeah, I missed you too, when you know you missed her. That would have made her day to say, hey, I missed you. There's nothing wrong with that, fellas. So to me, Tony came off a little bit weak in that point. But, they sat down, they talked, and Morgan, she revealed that she's never been in love before. That's huge. That's huge. You just can't just run past that like she just didn't say it. It's a huge thing to have never been in love before, to be the age that she's in and be on a show called Ready to Love. So I'm trying to understand with Morgan why there wasn't a little bit more like, okay, what caused it? You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be more there, because there has to be an understanding. And there has to be an example there. She understands the example, I'm pretty sure. Because, not to get too biblical, but John 3:16 is the perfect example of what love is. And by her having a Christian base and faith, I would think that she would understand and know love to be able to identify it before she got into it. So it's just a surprise for me that at this time in her life, she doesn't know what being in love feels like. All right, so next up you have Marcia and Lyndon, having their own private conversation. Marcia's trying to get Lyndon to kind of branch out a little bit more, reach out a little bit more. And Lyndon took that as an opportunity to give Marcia a kiss. And this is what I say, like a lot of men, sometimes we don't read the room quite as well as we should. We don't read, how women really truly feel about us. So we really have to pay attention really deeply and not just go off of eye contact, not just go off of words that are being said, but how that person's really interacting with you. But he went in for the kiss. She denied the kiss. He took it really well. I can tell he was a little bit hurt by it. I can tell that. But he took it well nonetheless. He brought it back up in conversation, tried to make lightheart of it, tried to make a joke out of it, but he was hurt by the fact that she pushed away from him. Because he even said, I'm known for doing that. Why would you say that? Why would you say that you're known for jumping the gun on kisses? Because that lets her know that you're moving too fast. Like you don't know how to calculate your moves as a man. And that's very important. In dating a woman, you got to know how to calculate your moves because that's what's going to be impressive to them. That's what's going to turn them on even more. A man who is calculated in how he pursues her. All right, then we cut back in with Morgan and Tony. Morgan asked Tony, what kind of man can I expect from you being in my life? He said he's a praying man. It's about faith. He wants to pray with his family. All the soft things that Tony is known for saying. But what I want to say is this, that Morgan was eating it up because a lot of times there are women out here who will eat up words all day. But those actions, you guys have to wait for actions to come through. So I don't really like the answer from Tony, to be honest with you. Ladies, you guys, when you ask these type of questions as far as what can a man bring to you to impact your life in a positive way, then it would be nice for him to say something that is directly for you. Not a generic response, not something he can give to the next lady or to another lady. If Tony had said, hey, I want to be the first man you fall in love with. That's what I want to bring you. I want to show you what true love really is. That would have and should have warmed her heart a lot more than what he said to her. And the reason why is because that's directly what she just mentioned when she was sitting on the beach, that she's never fallen in love before. So give her that experience. Be the one to do that for her. Now, again, that should have landed a whole lot better than just a generic response. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being a praying man. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being a godly man and wanting a family that prays together. Nothing is wrong with that. But give a little bit more of a direct response. That way she feels special and she knows you're thinking about her when you give your answer. Okay, next up we have Jeffrey and DeMario. They go on horseback riding. This was Jeffrey's idea, but she was having the hardest of time trying to tame that horse. Nonetheless, they end up talking about family, right? So Jeffrey is asking DeMario, how do you feel about dating a woman with kids when you don't have kids? DeMario's response was very suspect to me, because he says that because she has kids, she knows financial hardships or she can overcome them or something like that, he said. I was like, huh? And then he mentioned that he can help out with that. So what kind of response is that to me? I mean, he didn't mention anything about him possibly having his own children. Them kids might not even accept you, bro. So why are you sitting here saying that you want to help her out with something? You don't even know what the situation is going to be, because that's a whole second part of that package that you're getting. So I think that should have been more meat to that conversation. I think that Jeffrey should have pressed her more about what his expectations are going in, because if she's done having kids, then they need to know that up front. If DeMario wants to have more kids, he knows that she doesn't. He needs to speak up about that. So to me, I think it was more meat there to be given, but Jeffrey didn't pursue it right. All right, so up next we have Jonique and Lyndon. They actually end up going to a wine bar. Lyndon makes a statement, hey, this is right on my alley, this is what I do, this is me. So at that point, Jonique's she's questioning his lifestyle. Okay, can you handle the lifestyle? What do you think this is going to be? How can you be in that lifestyle and also be in a relationship that's going to thrive? He said, hey, I'm in the office all day. I don't even socialize with these folks. I'm in the office paying bills, writing tickets and all that good stuff. So she's like, okay, what I'm saying is that she wants someone that's going to be able to have fun inside the home and outside the home too, which is the general desire for most women. They want to be able to go out and have a good time with their partner, be able to stay inside and have a good time with their partner. So with that being said, I think that, it should have been a little bit more depth to the conversation. Maybe it was cut out, who knows? But Lyndon thinks that he's up to Jonique's speed as far as going out partying and having a good time. Who knows? Maybe he is, maybe he's not. When I see him, I don't see that. Honestly, I don't see that, but that's just me. Maybe she can bring it out of him, who knows? But between Jonique and Lyndon, I don't really think that's a good fit, but we'll see as time progresses. Then Jonique says that her thing is that she likes to compare men that she's dating. I don't think there's anything that's so far outside the box. I think she missed the assignment on that, because I think a lot of women do that. A lot of women compare the men that they're with to see if they want better or see if some qualities are relatable between one man and another. So I think that was just a generic response. I don't think she really exposed anything about herself that was different. So to me, I was like, it's a wasted attempt. All right, so we're back to the ladies' lounge, right? So, okay, I'm gonna just say this: Marcia did not have to say what she said about the kiss with Lyndon because it didn't fit there. It didn't fit anywhere in there. So I don't understand why that was even necessary to say he tried to kiss her and she rejected his kiss. It kind of made him look bad, kind of made her look a little bad too, just even bringing that up. So I'm disagreeing with that. Now the ladies go around the room, talk about their experiences with different men, how they like him, how they don't like him, and all that good stuff. So when it gets to the part with who they don't like, when Blake's name comes up, it seemed to me like Jeffrey put him on blast. She was talking about how clingy he was and everything. It was just a lot. And there are very few women who like clingy men. And the women who do like clingy men, they don't like them for long-term companionship, because of the fact that they're clingy in the beginning, you enjoy it, then it gets to a point where it gets really irritating. So no women like clingy men when it boils down to it for a long-term relationship. So Blake looked really bad in front of all of the women. I think Jeffrey just didn't like Blake for whatever reason. I don't remember Blake even talking to Jeffrey in any of their previous episodes. So for her to say that, I was kind of giving her the side eye too. Like, how did he get your number? A lot of stuff happens off of the screen, but Blake just does not come across as the type of guy who would be like, where you going? Who you with? What time you coming home? I didn't know this, I didn't know that. He just doesn't give that vibe to me. Now, Blake is a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? He can be a little arrogant. He can be a little overwhelming when it comes to conversations, but that clinginess that she's describing, I just didn't see it from Blake. I could be wrong. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments. Then we move over to the elimination piece, right? So Blake is there, Febreze is there, Marcia is with Febreze, and Sue Ann is with Blake. Both of these men, when they're told that they were in the bottom, both of them had something to say about how men and women communicate differently, how men and women think differently. So I thought that was very interesting how both of them were trying to prove their point with that same type of speaking point. So to me, Febreze just wasn't getting it. He just was not getting it at all. He was at a point where it's like, hey, I'm right, you guys are wrong. You guys haven't experienced things I've experienced. Where I'm from, this is accepted, this is how we talk, and that is not being taken into consideration. Well, all that talk was for nothing because Febreze ended up going home and they ended up saving Blake. Blake was hot because he feels like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so next week we want to see if they actually did say that, if Blake said that to Jeffrey or not, because their interaction was pretty intense. So we'll figure that out next week when we see it. But until then, it's your boy Black. It's been real. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Peace.